Imagine a book so powerful that its words could unlock the secrets of the universe, an ancient text so profound it has been whispered about for thousands of years, hidden in the sacred scriptures, known only to a few who dared to seek its mysteries. Today, we are uncovering one of the Bible's most elusive secrets, a mysterious book allegedly written by one of the greatest kings in history, King Solomon. To understand the power and intrigue surrounding this book, let's go back to the era of Solomon himself. King Solomon was no ordinary king. He was Israel's wisest and wealthiest ruler, a man whom God himself blessed with knowledge that far surpassed that of any other ruler. In 1 Kings 3 verse 12, God tells Solomon, "I will give you a wise and discerning heart, so that there will never have been anyone like you, nor will there ever be." Solomon's wisdom, his wealth, and his reputation spread across the ancient world, drawing rulers, philosophers, and seekers from distant lands, all hoping to witness the king's supernatural understanding. But Solomon wasn't content with just ruling his kingdom or amassing wealth. His curiosity led him deeper. Ancient texts, including the Apocrypha and various pseudepigraphal writings, suggest that Solomon recorded more than just wise sayings. Some scholars believe he documented hidden knowledge, secrets of the spiritual and natural worlds that would remain concealed from ordinary men. According to these texts, Solomon's writings go beyond Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and Song of Songs. There's a hidden book, rumored to contain mysteries that might be too powerful for humankind. This secretive work, known by some as the Book of Mysteries or the Grimoire of Solomon, allegedly held keys to understanding the supernatural realms, influencing the forces of nature, and unlocking the spiritual dimensions. But here lies the question: does this book actually exist, and if so, what truths does it contain that have remained hidden for millennia? The whispers of Solomon's Book of Mysteries have persisted through time, passed down among mystics, scholars, and religious leaders. Some believe the knowledge within this book allowed Solomon to communicate with angels and command demons, to control the elements and possess insight into the deepest workings of creation itself. Legends say that Solomon's temple housed not only treasures of gold but also treasures of knowledge, scrolls and writings hidden within its sacred walls. But as time passed, Solomon's kingdom fell, and with it, the secrets of his temple were buried or lost, or were they? One theory suggests that the book was so powerful, it had to be hidden deliberately. According to ancient traditions, the book was sealed away by Solomon himself, concealed from even his closest allies, knowing that its contents could be too dangerous in the wrong hands. Some legends suggest he hid it deep within the Temple of Solomon, while others believe it was taken and hidden by a small circle of trusted advisors, possibly priests, who swore to protect it from the world. Then, there's another theory, that Solomon knew his Book of Mysteries would one day be found, and that it was hidden not within the temple itself but in the sacred texts of the Bible, scattered like a puzzle, meant to be discovered by only the wisest, those willing to look beyond the obvious. Some scholars believe that hints of Solomon's secret knowledge are woven into his recorded writings and scattered throughout the Bible, like a divine puzzle waiting to be unlocked. The question remains, could it be that we've already seen pieces of this book, hidden in plain sight, yet never fully understood? And if someone were to find the missing parts and reassemble them, what kind of power or wisdom would be revealed? In some circles, it's said that knowledge of the Book of Mysteries reached groups as influential as the Knights Templar and other secret societies. The Templars, known for their quest for spiritual and material wealth, allegedly discovered ancient documents during their time in Jerusalem, potentially linked to Solomon's temple. Some believe they encountered remnants of Solomon's hidden knowledge, writings and symbols that hinted at his occult knowledge, perhaps even fragments of the Book of Mysteries itself. This connection to Solomon may explain the Templars' fascination with sacred sites, their sudden rise in power, and the mystique that surrounds them to this day. And yet, despite these claims, no one has ever publicly claimed to possess this mysterious book in its entirety. Could it be that it still lies hidden, waiting for a worthy seeker to piece together the clues? Or has its wisdom been lost forever, preserved only in stories and whispers, scattered through ancient texts like breadcrumbs leading to an invisible path? As we delve deeper into this story, it's essential to understand the nature of ancient wisdom. In biblical times, the pursuit of wisdom wasn't merely intellectual, it was deeply spiritual, a quest to understand the divine. Solomon's Book of Mysteries isn't just a treasure trove of knowledge but a key that unlocks a deeper relationship with God and his creation. For Solomon, wisdom was sacred, a gift from God that came with responsibility and power. According to some sources, Solomon's writings in this secret book weren't just about how to understand the world, they were about how to transcend it, to communicate with God and the spiritual realms directly. Those who sought this knowledge believed it would bring them closer to divine truth and enlightenment, beyond the limitations of earthly existence. For centuries, this legendary book has sparked intrigue and debate. But as we stand on the brink of discovery, the question isn't just about whether the book exists, it's about what might happen if it's found. Would this knowledge benefit humanity, or would it bring consequences we cannot foresee? As we move forward in this journey, consider this: could the secrets of Solomon's Book of Mysteries still be out there, concealed within the Bible, waiting for someone with eyes to see and ears to hear? As we journey deeper, let's explore how King Solomon's secrets could have survived through the ages. If this Book of Mysteries contained such powerful knowledge, how could its existence remain hidden? To answer this, we must consider the legacy of Solomon's wisdom and how it impacted those who came after him. After Solomon's reign, Israel experienced a period of turmoil and division. Solomon's Grand Temple, once a symbol of divine power and wisdom, was plundered and destroyed, first by the Babylonians and later by the Romans. With each invasion, the treasures of the temple vanished, and so, it's believed, did any records of Solomon's secrets. Yet, whispers persisted, stories passed down by scribes and scholars who swore they'd seen glimpses of this legendary book. In the centuries that followed, Solomon's reputation grew far beyond Israel. In ancient Egypt, Greece, and Rome, Solomon was regarded not just as a wise king but as a master of the arcane, a figure whose understanding of spiritual and natural forces made him almost mythical. Greek scholars, fascinated by Solomon's story, sought his writings, hoping to unlock the mysteries of his wisdom. Egyptian priests, known for their own deep mystical practices, were rumored to possess scrolls that contained remnants of Solomon's knowledge. Some say that, among these Egyptian texts, clues to the Book of Mysteries were hidden, encrypted in ancient symbols and codes. But Solomon's legacy didn't end there. As the centuries passed, powerful secret societies emerged, each claiming a connection to Solomon's wisdom. The most famous among them, the Knights Templar, is said to have unearthed documents beneath the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, potentially fragments of the very knowledge Solomon himself hid. According to legend, the Templars discovered texts that provided insights into alchemy, sacred geometry, and the manipulation of spiritual forces, knowledge that could only have come from Solomon's writings. Some historians even speculate that the Templars' rise to power wasn't due to their military prowess alone, but to the mystical knowledge they supposedly uncovered. This knowledge, passed down through generations, transformed them into one of the most feared and respected orders of their time. And although the Templars were eventually disbanded, rumors about their secrets continued, sparking the formation of other secret societies, such as the Freemasons and the Rosicrucians. These groups also revered Solomon, considering him a master architect and spiritual guide, incorporating symbols and rituals they believed were rooted in his teachings. So, where does that leave us today? Could remnants of Solomon's Book of Mysteries still be hidden within these secret societies? Or, perhaps, scattered across ancient manuscripts waiting to be pieced together by modern scholars? One fascinating clue lies within the Kabbalah, a mystical Jewish tradition that delves deeply into the spiritual aspects of the Bible. Some Kabbalists believe that Solomon's wisdom was encoded within the Torah itself and that the Book of Mysteries can be deciphered by those who understand the ancient codes embedded in the scriptures. The Kabbalah explores concepts of divine light, spiritual energy, and hidden meanings in Hebrew letters, ideas that align with what we might expect from Solomon's wisdom. In fact, some Kabbalistic texts claim that Solomon had access to divine codes, ways of interpreting the Hebrew Bible that unlocked hidden knowledge. These codes, known as Gematria and Notarikon, are methods of extracting meanings from words by interpreting their numerical values or by forming new words from the letters of a single word. Could it be that Solomon's Book of Mysteries wasn't a physical book at all, but a hidden layer within the Bible itself, accessible only to those with the insight to see it? As scholars and mystics alike ponder these questions, more modern discoveries continue to intrigue and mystify. In the 20th century, with the uncovering of the Dead Sea Scrolls, researchers found ancient texts that offered new insights into early Jewish beliefs and practices. Among these texts are writings that reference wisdom traditions similar to those attributed to Solomon. Although no Book of Mysteries was found among these scrolls, some researchers argue that these writings are just the beginning, a doorway leading us closer to Solomon's hidden wisdom. And then, there's the Lemegeton, also known as the Lesser Key of Solomon, a famous grimoire attributed to Solomon and written centuries after his reign. This text details rituals, invocations, and even names of spiritual beings, reflecting a tradition that claims Solomon had command over both angels and demons. The Lemegeton, while not universally accepted as authentic, has nevertheless fascinated occultists and historians for centuries. It raises an important question: did Solomon truly possess the power to interact with spiritual beings, and if so, could this knowledge have been part of his hidden book? As we trace Solomon's influence through history, the puzzle only deepens. We see a continuous thread connecting Solomon to mystical knowledge across civilizations and centuries. But here's the thought that might surprise you: what if Solomon intended for his secrets to remain hidden, knowing that some wisdom is too dangerous for humanity to possess? There are those who believe that Solomon himself foresaw the potential dangers of his knowledge. In some accounts, Solomon grew fearful of the power his book of mysteries contained. He realized that, if it fell into the wrong hands, it could be misused, leading to chaos and destruction. So, rather than risk this, he hid it away, embedding fragments of it in his recorded works and perhaps entrusting select pieces to his most trusted confidants, who would pass it down in secret. Others believe that Solomon wanted future generations to seek this wisdom, but only if they were worthy. In this view, the Book of Mysteries is hidden not to protect humanity from its power, but to inspire a spiritual quest, encouraging people to delve deeper into their relationship with God. The idea of the book as a puzzle, a divine challenge set by Solomon, suggests that those who genuinely seek truth and enlightenment can find it, though they may have to dedicate their lives to the pursuit. As we continue exploring, consider this question: if you had the chance to unlock Solomon's wisdom, would you take it? And if so, what would you hope to find? The truth may be elusive, but the journey is just as important as the destination. And while Solomon's secrets may be shrouded in mystery, his legacy invites each of us to seek wisdom, to question, and to ponder the divine. Perhaps that's the greatest secret of all, that true wisdom isn't something that can be hidden or contained, but something that grows within us as we search for it. As we move further into the heart of this mystery, a question arises: what if the Book of Mysteries isn't just a source of wisdom, but also of incredible power? Power that could influence not only the minds of men but also the forces of nature, life, and death itself. In some ancient writings, Solomon is described not only as wise but as a king with abilities beyond comprehension, abilities granted through his unique relationship with God. To understand the full extent of this power, we must examine some of the abilities Solomon was rumored to possess. One of the most compelling tales speaks of Solomon's control over the spirit world. In the Bible, there are mentions of Solomon's wisdom in discerning the truth and administering justice, but other writings, particularly those outside the canonical texts, suggest a far more supernatural aspect. They speak of Solomon as a man who communicated with angels, commanded spirits, and could even influence demonic forces. Could the Book of Mysteries have been the source of this power? Legends suggest that Solomon had the ability to summon and bind spirits, compelling them to serve him and reveal hidden truths. In the Testament of Solomon, an ancient text often regarded as apocryphal, Solomon is depicted as having power over demons, whom he commands to aid in the construction of his temple. In this account, Solomon uses a magical ring given to him by the archangel Michael, allowing him to control demonic forces. He binds these spirits, questioning them about their purposes and even learning their weaknesses. If these accounts are to be believed, then the Book of Mysteries may hold secrets to controlling forces far beyond our understanding. But why would Solomon pursue such knowledge, and what could have driven him to take such risks? Some believe that Solomon, in his quest for wisdom, was not just seeking to rule his kingdom effectively but to understand the very nature of creation. His desire to know, to comprehend the divine, led him to explore the spiritual and natural worlds in ways that few would dare. Yet, with great knowledge came great risk. Ancient traditions warn that Solomon's wisdom was a double-edged sword, bringing both enlightenment and peril. Throughout history, those who sought Solomon's secrets were often warned of the potential dangers. One story tells of a group of mystics who allegedly found a portion of Solomon's writings centuries after his death. They studied these writings, hoping to gain the king's wisdom, but were met with disaster. According to legend, some went mad, overwhelmed by the insights and visions they received. Others found themselves cursed, haunted by forces they could not control. This tale, while dramatic, serves as a warning. Perhaps some knowledge is not meant for human minds, and the Book of Mysteries may be one of those forbidden treasures. The idea of forbidden knowledge is a recurring theme in spiritual traditions, and it's one that Solomon himself would likely have understood. Some scholars believe that Solomon was aware of the risks, that he knew his knowledge could be dangerous. They speculate that, as Solomon's wisdom grew, he became increasingly cautious about what he shared, fearing the consequences if his secrets fell into the wrong hands. In this view, the Book of Mysteries was hidden not to protect Solomon's legacy, but to protect the world from the potential misuse of its contents. But what exactly could be in this book that might warrant such caution? One theory is that Solomon's writings contain sacred names, names of God, angels, and even spirits, each with the power to invoke divine or supernatural forces. In ancient Jewish mysticism, the pronunciation of these sacred names was believed to hold power, a practice often associated with Kabbalah. The names could be used for protection, healing, or, in some cases, to command spiritual beings. However, misuse of these names was thought to bring grave consequences, and even today, some mystics and rabbis treat the knowledge of these names with extreme reverence and caution. The Book of Mysteries may also contain the secrets of alchemy, the ancient art of transformation. Alchemical traditions often claim a link to Solomon, portraying him as a master of this mystical science. Alchemy wasn't just about turning lead into gold, it was about the transformation of the soul, the purification of one's spirit to achieve enlightenment. If Solomon's book contained alchemical secrets, it might hold formulas for altering the physical world, for healing, or even for extending life. Imagine the possibilities, and the risks, if such knowledge were to fall into the wrong hands. Yet another possibility is that the Book of Mysteries contains what some mystics call the keys to creation. These keys are described as principles or laws that govern the universe, principles that, if understood, could allow a person to manipulate reality itself. In this view, Solomon's wisdom extended beyond human knowledge into the realm of divine understanding. He knew how the world worked on a level that most of us could never comprehend, and he recorded these principles in his book. But such power comes with a price. Could it be that Solomon, in his later years, realized that this knowledge was too dangerous even for himself? Did he seal the book away, knowing that humanity might not be ready for it? As we ponder these possibilities, another question arises. Could the Book of Mysteries have been passed down, hidden within secret texts or rituals, waiting for the right moment to be revealed? Some believe that fragments of this knowledge have survived in religious traditions, in ancient scrolls, or even in symbols hidden in plain sight. Perhaps some of the Bible's parables and metaphors are veiled references to Solomon's hidden teachings, puzzles designed to test the wisdom of those who seek them. But here's the thought that might surprise you. What if Solomon's wisdom wasn't hidden to keep it from the unworthy but to encourage the worthy to seek it out? What if the Book of Mysteries was meant to be a spiritual test, a way to lead true seekers to deeper understanding? In this interpretation, Solomon's secrets aren't just forbidden, they're a pathway to enlightenment, a divine mystery that invites those with the courage to pursue it. As we continue on this journey, let's remember the weight of this pursuit. Knowledge, especially spiritual knowledge, comes with responsibility. The story of Solomon and his Book of Mysteries is more than a tale of power, it's a reminder of the importance of wisdom, humility, and respect for the divine. Perhaps this is the ultimate message of Solomon's legacy, that true wisdom lies not in knowing everything but in knowing what should remain unknown. As we draw closer to the heart of this mystery, the question remains, where could Solomon's Book of Mysteries be hidden today, and who, if anyone, possesses the wisdom to unlock it? Legends suggest that Solomon, aware of the dangers his knowledge held, took great measures to conceal his writings. But if the book was hidden, surely he must have left some clues for those worthy enough to find it. One theory suggests that the book lies within the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, the site of Solomon's temple. According to Jewish tradition, the Temple Mount is one of the holiest places on earth, a spiritual center where heaven and earth intersect. It's said that Solomon, in his wisdom, chose this location because he believed it to be a place of divine energy, a place where the knowledge in his Book of Mysteries could remain safe. Today, however, access to the Temple Mount is limited, and excavations are strictly controlled, leaving many to wonder if Solomon's secrets might still be hidden beneath its sacred ground. Another theory posits that the Book of Mysteries wasn't hidden in a single location but scattered in fragments across various ancient texts. Some scholars believe that Solomon's teachings can be found within the Bible itself, concealed in cryptic verses and parables. They argue that the Bible contains codes, such as equidistant letter sequences, ELS, where words and messages are hidden by skipping equal numbers of letters. If Solomon used such a method, then his wisdom might be waiting within the scriptures, accessible only to those who know how to read between the lines. However, there are those who believe that the book was never a physical document but a series of oral teachings passed down through secret societies and mystical traditions. As we mentioned, groups like the Knights Templar and the Freemasons have long revered Solomon, considering him a source of ancient wisdom. These societies are known for their mysterious rituals, symbols, and traditions, many of which they claim to have inherited from Solomon's time. Could it be that the Book of Mysteries survives within these traditions, encoded in symbols and ceremonies that only initiates can decipher? The Freemasons, in particular, have long held Solomon in high regard. In their teachings, Solomon is celebrated as the master architect, a symbol of wisdom, discipline, and spiritual understanding. Freemasonic rituals often make reference to Solomon's temple, with symbols like the compass and square representing principles of balance, morality, and divine order. For centuries, Freemasons have preserved these symbols, believing them to be keys to ancient truths. Yet, whether these symbols truly contain remnants of Solomon's Book of Mysteries or are merely inspired by his legacy is a question that remains unanswered. In addition to these groups, there are hints that certain mystical manuscripts from medieval times may contain pieces of Solomon's hidden knowledge. The Emerald Tablet, a text central to alchemy, is one such document. Though its origins are unknown, some alchemists have claimed that the principles outlined in the Emerald Tablet align with Solomon's teachings. The tablet speaks of transformation, the unity of all things, and the mystery of the one thing that creates all things. Could Solomon's wisdom have influenced these teachings, preserved and passed down through alchemical traditions? But the idea that Solomon's secrets are hidden solely in ancient texts or secret societies might be too limiting. Some believe that Solomon intended for his knowledge to be accessible to all who genuinely sought it, not through physical texts but through spiritual insight. In this view, the Book of Mysteries isn't a literal book at all but a metaphor for the journey of seeking wisdom. Solomon's wisdom, they argue, is encoded within us, within the universe itself, and can be accessed through meditation, prayer, and a sincere quest for understanding. One modern interpretation of Solomon's Book of Mysteries comes from the field of quantum physics. Some researchers draw parallels between the ancient wisdom attributed to Solomon and modern discoveries about the nature of reality. Quantum physics reveals a world where particles can exist in multiple states at once, where the act of observing something changes its behavior, and where everything is connected in ways we are only beginning to understand. Could it be that Solomon, in his pursuit of wisdom, glimpsed truths about the universe that science is only now beginning to uncover? This perspective invites us to consider that Solomon's wisdom wasn't just about spiritual matters but also about the fabric of reality itself. As we ponder these possibilities, another question lingers: if someone were to find Solomon's Book of Mysteries today, would they even recognize it? Wisdom, especially ancient wisdom, is often veiled in symbols and metaphors, accessible only to those with eyes to see and ears to hear. If the book were discovered, it might not look like the great treasure we imagine. It could appear as a simple text, an ordinary document hiding extraordinary secrets in plain sight. Those who seek it would need patience, humility, and an open heart, qualities that, perhaps, are the true keys to unlocking Solomon's wisdom. But here's a final thought: what if you already hold the keys to Solomon's wisdom? What if the lessons and teachings attributed to Solomon are invitations to seek wisdom within yourself, to cultivate understanding, compassion, and a connection with the divine? Solomon's legacy, after all, isn't just about secret knowledge, it's about the pursuit of truth, the courage to ask difficult questions, and the willingness to explore the unknown. As we conclude this exploration, let's remember the words often attributed to Solomon himself: "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom." In the end, Solomon's wisdom is about more than knowledge, it's about a relationship with the divine, a journey that each of us can undertake. Whether or not the Book of Mysteries exists in physical form, the spirit of Solomon's wisdom lives on, inspiring seekers of all generations. As we reach the final depths of our exploration, we arrive at a profound realization: King Solomon's Book of Mysteries, whether a physical book, a series of hidden teachings, or a spiritual journey, represents something far greater than a collection of secrets. It represents a timeless legacy, a reminder of the pursuit of wisdom, and the quest to understand the divine. Throughout history, few figures have been as revered as Solomon. His name is synonymous with wisdom, and his teachings have transcended time, culture, and religion. Even today, in our modern world, people turn to Solomon's Proverbs and his legacy, seeking guidance and insight. But what is it about Solomon's wisdom that continues to captivate us? Perhaps it's because Solomon's wisdom isn't limited to knowledge. His teachings are rooted in a deep understanding of human nature, the complexities of life, and the mysteries of the soul. In the Book of Proverbs, Solomon offers insights that speak to the heart, addressing the human condition with a blend of compassion and clarity. He warns against pride, encourages humility, and reminds us of the fleeting nature of material wealth. But he also speaks of courage, resilience, and the pursuit of righteousness, qualities that resonate as much today as they did in ancient times. As we reflect on Solomon's legacy, we are reminded that true wisdom is more than knowledge. It's about how we live our lives, the choices we make, and the relationships we build. Solomon's Book of Mysteries isn't just a treasure trove of hidden truths, it's an invitation to seek wisdom within ourselves, to cultivate a deeper understanding of our purpose, and to embrace the journey of life with humility and grace. And yet, the question remains: could Solomon's secrets still be waiting to be uncovered? Could there be more to his wisdom than we realize? For centuries, scholars, mystics, and seekers have tried to decipher the true meaning of Solomon's teachings, searching for clues that might unlock the mysteries of the universe. But perhaps the greatest secret of all is that Solomon's wisdom was never meant to be fully understood. Perhaps it's a mystery that will forever remain just out of reach, an invitation to keep searching, learning, and growing. This is the enduring legacy of Solomon's Book of Mysteries. It's a reminder that the pursuit of wisdom is a journey without end, a path that each of us can walk in our own way. Whether we find answers or simply more questions, the search itself is what transforms us, shaping us into wiser, more compassionate, and more understanding beings. In a world filled with distractions and superficial pursuits, Solomon's wisdom calls us to something deeper. It calls us to examine our hearts, to seek truth, and to live with integrity. It reminds us that wisdom is a gift from the divine, a light that guides us through life's challenges and helps us find meaning in the midst of uncertainty. And it challenges us to ask ourselves, are we willing to seek wisdom, even if it means confronting our own fears, doubts, and limitations? As we conclude this journey, let's remember that the legacy of Solomon isn't about the possession of knowledge, it's about the pursuit of understanding. The Book of Mysteries may or may not exist, but the spirit of Solomon's wisdom lives on in each of us. It's a call to live with purpose, to seek truth, and to embrace the journey of life with an open heart. In the end, the greatest mystery isn't hidden in an ancient book or a secret code. It's hidden within us, in the depths of our souls, waiting to be discovered. And perhaps that's the ultimate lesson of Solomon's Book of Mysteries, that true wisdom isn't something we can possess, it's something we become.